So one of the key teaching in Bhagavad Gita is that, and the essence of karma yoga is that we should learn to let go the fruit of the action. Our action should not be driven by the motive to gain some kind of a fruit. Yeah. And the verse that describes it the well, and it's a very popular verse in Bhagavad Gita, is that you have a right to act, but you have no right to the fruit of the action. Right? So don't think yourself as the cause of the fruit of the action. At the same time, don't be attached to the inaction. And if we see this in the context of Bhagavad Gita, which is like given, that discourse is given within the setting of the war, where Arjuna has to fight a war that he didn't choose. In that case, if you see, Arjuna has a right to act. Arjuna can decide whether he wants to fight or he doesn't want to fight. But his action does not guarantee the result of the war. Yeah, Arjuna is just one actor in this complex system. So the result of the war is not directly proportional to Arjuna's action. So what Krishna is saying here is, first, that you should not think yourself as the cause of the result, right? The result that comes comes from a very, very complex system. So don't think yourself like you are the cause of these results. Second thing is, don't get attached to the inaction, right? That is also one of the fundamental teaching in Bhagavad Gita, especially around the karma yoga, is that never get attached to the inaction. Never becomes like this kind of a person who is not acting. That is referred as the lowest of the lowest kind of action. And then he's saying, you have a right to act. You still have a complete control over your action. So this is where you should focus. Yeah. If you focus too much on the fruit of the action, that is going to create just unbalanced mind. That is going to create this disturbance in the mind, this kind of unbalanced mind, and your action will not be the highest quality. Yeah. So if Arjuna is too much attached to winning the battle, he will not be able to execute his position properly. On the other hand, if he is not attached to the winning of the battle, but he just want to do his best in the battle, that's a very different state of mind. And that is what Krishna is trying to enforce to the Arjuna, right? To get your best, do your best in this scenario, and that's all you have to be doing, right? If the result comes in your favor, great. If the result doesn't come in your favor, it's like you are not the only cause for the result, right? So that is what is referred as a let go of the fruit of the action. And then Krishna also mentioned that there could be three kinds of the fruit of the action, which is common sense, that either the result of the action would be something that you wanted, it could be something that you didn't want it, or it could be mixed, a little bit of what you wanted, a little bit of what you didn't want it. And the person who is not attached to the fruit of that action is not have to go through the result of these different emotions that comes from the getting what you want, not getting what you want, and getting the mixed result, and disturbance of the mind that comes from it. So that is one of the major teachings about the karma yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Also Krishna says that the person who has let go of selfish action is called sannyasa, and the person who let go of all the fruit of the action, he is not bothered about whatever the result comes. Yeah, that person is referred as a renunciant, and that's what in Bhagavad Gita referred as a highest quality of action without any desire for the fruits of that action. If you see it in the more practical terms, let's say I'm creating these videos, yeah, and if I have this attachment to the fruit of the action, that I want to have 1,000 likes, or I want to change the world, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, all of those attachment to the fruit of the action is going to create a disturbing state of mind. As soon as you get attached to the fruit of the action, now when I'm acting, all these things are coming inside me, right? So I have to fight with those things to stay focused on my action. Yeah. So that it sounds so counterproductive, it sounds so paradoxical. The more you are attached to the fruit of the action, the lower the quality of your action is going to be. Yeah. If you let go of the fruit of the action, your action are going to be much higher quality. And what do we get after, let's say I decide something like I want to have 1,000 likes for this video. What do I get out of it? Yeah, it's like I have made I get attached to something, and when it happens, all I get is a little bit of emotional, sensations. That's all. And then I get attached to that, and then I want to like 10,000 likes now, 20,000 likes now. So it doesn't really, if you look more closely internally, then it doesn't get you anything. It's just like a hoax, yeah, and it creates a lot of trouble. It creates a lot of stress or all those things, and of course it lower down your quality of action. And then just acting for the sake of acting itself is such a joyful thing to do, right? Just the expression itself, right? It's a wonderful experience to just acting for the sake of acting. And that is the idea. And there is a book called Surrender Experiment from Michael Singer, who was able to live up to it. He decided that he doesn't want anything from himself, so it's more ironic that he went to just the forest, and then whatever the life gave him, whatever the task life gave him, he did his best in those things. And he ran multiple companies, billion-dollar companies, and all that. All the while, all he was doing is just doing his best on whatever the task life is giving to him, yeah, and enjoying that process. Not really deciding that I want to run this company or I want to run the billion-dollar company and all that. And that will be the highest. But if we are not evolved to that level, what we can do is, for me, let's say that I can decide a basic direction in the life. I am going in that direction. Yeah, it's like setting a place in a map. I am going in that direction, and then forget about the direction and just focus on the driving. Yeah. If you get to the direction, it's okay. If you of course you're going to get the direction, but if you not get to the direction, it's okay. But you just forget the direction and you just focus on the driving. Yeah. At least that much we can implement.